All right, good evening. The meeting of the Attleboro Municipal Council will now come to order. Please rise and join me for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from January 6th, 2026, December 22nd, 2025, December 16th, 2025, December 2nd, 2025, November 4th, 2025, November 18th, 2025, and November 25th, 2025.
Second.
Motion is in order. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we'll now proceed to the public hearings. Madam Clerk, will you please read the notice for the first public hearing?
Certainly. First public hearing regarding a joint National Grid and Verizon pole petition request to install one new pole, P3686-50 on South Main Street.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor? Welcome, and please just state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Michael Frazier, National Grid, 245 South Main Street, Hopedale.
Thank you.
So just requesting it's for company equipment, new pole to increase reliability.
Thank you. Do we have any?
Can you just repeat
Vice President
that?
Dolan?
Thank you, sorry. Can you just repeat that? What is this for?
It's for company equipment to increase reliability.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Hearing none. Thank you, Michael. Do we have anyone else to speak in favor? Anyone to speak in opposition? Is there anyone who wishes to speak neither for nor against? Hearing none. Vice President Dolan, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I don't.
I declare the public hearing closed. Madam Clerk, can you read the next public hearing?
Certainly. Second public hearing regarding a joint National Grid and Verizon pole petition request to install one new pole, P4647-50 on Tiffany Street.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor? Welcome.
Michael Frazier, National Grid, 245 South Main Street, Hopedale. Again, this is for company equipment to increase reliability.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Hearing none. Thank you, Michael. Is there anyone else to speak in favor? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Is there anyone who wishes to speak neither for nor against? Hearing none. Vice President Dolan, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I don't.
I declare the public hearing closed. Madam Clerk?
Third public hearing regarding a proposed amendment to Chapter 5 Finance to include tax title payment agreements available at the City Council's office.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor? Welcome.
Hi, I'm Laura Gignac. I'm the city treasurer. I reside at 33 Jesse Ave in Attleboro, Massachusetts.
Welcome.
And I am here to speak in favor of 60/62A. I believe you all read what was sent down by the mayor. And basically it allows the treasurer to enter into tax title payment agreements with residents, which we actually do now. But this particular ordinance, if it's adopted, would allow me to negotiate a reduction in interest. So it would be a waiver of interest. This particular 60/62A is only on properties that are, have oil spills or some kind of hazardous material and or a landfill or dump. Currently, we do have a property, which is Attleboro landfill, that is a landfill. We also have properties in the past, and we may have some in the future, that may have oil spills or hazardous waste. So it will allow me to negotiate something with that owner of that property, which may actually net us getting money back on that property. A lot of these properties will sit, and we will not be able to collect any money on those if we don't do something to assist with that. Then we will get nothing in back taxes, nothing in current taxes, which is not good for the city. In researching this, I spoke to 5 different cities. Well, I reached out to 5 different cities. One returned my phone call, and it was Chatham. And Chatham has a very similar adoption of this ordinance. And they said it's worked very well for them. They were able to collect monies that they would never be able to if they did not put this in place and allow the treasurer to negotiate payment plans with individuals that fall under this. So therefore, I am in favor of that. I mentioned Attleboro landfill. That is one of the properties that would be able to utilize this if it were accepted. Currently, there is a company, the owner has an agreement with a solar company. That solar company has an agreement with the city of Attleboro to make payments. Obviously, this particular solar company has been struggling since 2019 to get through a lot of the different red tape and what they've had to do to try to get the solar on the property, and things have changed. So this would help them pay this off so they can put solar on that property. Now, right now, they owe $466,657.13 in past due taxes on that property. If something, and we weren't able to do something, we may never collect that. There is also a pilot that was approved on 6/18 of 2024 on this property. It was council vote number 5. So if we can't collect the back taxes, we won't collect the pilot payments as well. So that's why I am here to speak for this.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Councilor Tavares.
Thanks for coming down, Laura.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. So, reading through the proposed ordinance, I saw that there's a 25% cap on interest that can be reduced through the payment agreement. Are you aware of any statutory limit or anything from your standpoint that that makes sense to limit that at 25%?
Yes, so this was looked over by City Solicitor Peter Mello, who did read the actual 62A, how it was presented, and definitely advised us to the 25% is where he suggested that we be at this time.
Vice President Dolan.
Thanks for coming down, Laura.
Thank you.
So this would enable them to start to pay those back taxes?
They've actually already started to pay. They've made 2 payments already per the payment agreement with the city of Attleboro. What this would do is extend their term to 5 years, to pay it over 5 years, to waive up to 25% of the interest on that, and do a 10% down payment. But they've already started to make payments on this, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Hearing none, thank you, Laura.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor? Welcome, and just your name and address for the record.
Absolutely. Good evening. My name is Tom Warren. I'm a city resident, but I'm also a partner at Coogan Smith with an office location at 144 Bank Street. I'm here on behalf of Coogan Smith to support or to speak in favor of the proposed ordinance. We have a number of clients that would benefit from payment agreements to get their properties at a tax title. As Treasurer Gignac mentioned, it's almost an impossible task for those that own significant taxes to get out of this hole. And although I'll defer to the treasurer on her judgment and what she wants for the proposed ordinance, to your point, Councilor, the way I read Section 62A of Chapter 60 of the general laws, the city has wide discretion. And I don't read the cap at 25% the way Attorney Mello does, but I'll defer to you and Treasurer Gignac. Basically, we think that as much discretion, as much authority as can be granted to the treasurer, we trust her judgment. We have a lot of confidence in the treasurer and her staff. We think this is a really plausible option, feasible option to get some of these properties at a tax title and make them productive sources of revenue for the city.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Vice President Dolan?
Thank you. Can you clarify how you read that differently, the 25%?
The way I read it, it's 62A, the proposed ordinance. I think it was passed or went into effect on November 1st of 2024. It allows for the municipality to pass a bylaw that allows for the 100% or 100% of the interest to be waived. But that's to the discretion of the municipality. And also the term of agreements. Again, I read the way I read the statute, allows for 10-year terms, but the proposed ordinance contains it at 5, and I'll defer to the treasurer and her judgment what's best for the city.
Thank you.
Are there any other further questions? Hearing none, thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Warren. Is there anyone else to speak in favor? Is there anyone else to speak in favor? All right. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Is there anyone who wishes to speak neither for nor against? Hearing none. Councilor Tavares, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I declare the public hearing closed. Madam Clerk, if you could continue with the next public hearing.
Certainly, Mr. President. Fourth public hearing this evening regarding a change to ordinance section 10-4, traffic control, to reflect the following. Section 10-4.11 and isolated stop signs, and 10-4.12 multi-way stop signs. Delete eastbound drivers on Steer Street at Pike Avenue. Insert Steer Street and Pike Avenue.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Is there anyone who wishes to speak neither for nor against? Welcome.
I get tongue-tied every time I come up here. Good morning, good evening,
Good evening.
Mr.
Welcome.
President, Madam Vice President, members of the council. My name is Joseph Capnegro, and I reside at 903 Pike Avenue. 903 Pike Avenue is just a big block and a half up from Steer Street, and I've lived there since 1976, so I'm very familiar with this intersection. And the reason I'm speaking neither for nor against is that there is a problem with the intersection. However, I don't know if other means may be available to solve this problem. The problem with the intersection is when you're driving northerly on Pike Avenue, say from my house, and you come up to that intersection, the area on the left, which is Steer Street, has very limited sight distance to see up Pike Avenue. In fact, when I'm driving down there, and especially during the foliage time of the year, you can't see the stop sign on Steer Street. And so that also prevents, and as we come over this rise in the hill, I should say, as we're approaching Williamsburg Lane. That is also the case for Steer Street itself. And I've got some pictures, and I'm not a good picture taker, but I
Please.
want to pass them out so that give you some idea of the view. And there's also a little sketch on the last page which shows something I'm going to speak about the possibility of
Here.
I can pass them.
Yeah, Mr. Capnegro, we can just pass them down,
Oh.
because people can't hear you when you're not in front of the microphone.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
The first picture you see is when you're stopped at the stop sign on Pike Avenue, on Steer Street rather, where it exists now. And when you look to the right, there's trees there, there's a couple small pine tree saplings that have grown over the past years that are interfering with the view. When you move about 4 or 5 feet up from where it's presently located, which is about 12 feet, maybe 14 feet from the intersection, the second picture shows you have a little better view of, as far as looking towards the right, the southerly direction of Pike Avenue. So what I was thinking is an alternative that maybe should be tried out beforehand would be to move the stop sign from its present location closer to Pike Avenue. And that's shown on a little sketch that I would have called, which is on the third page, because that would increase the sight distance looking up Steer Street onto Pike Avenue. Looking left onto Pike Avenue, there's no sight problem. You can see all the way down hundreds and hundreds of feet. But if you move the stop sign up, it may require, and I'll defer to, as far as DPW, it may or may not require some small reconfiguration of that intersection, of the radii to the turning right onto Pike Avenue. Because if you moved it even farther than my second picture, you would have proper sight distance looking up Pike Avenue, and there really wouldn't be a need for the stop sign. However, if for some reason that can't be reconfigured, then something should be done, because what happens on Steer Street through all these years is people sometimes very rarely stop fully an inch forward until they can see Pike Avenue. It's what I call a rolling stop, and it can be a rolling stop that's 5 miles an hour or 10 or 15 miles an hour, and which has caused some accidents at that area. The other alternative, I thought, rather than putting a four-way stop, would be moving the stop sign up also, but then putting another stop sign across the street on the corner there by Williamsburg. It would be similar to the stop sign that is at the bottom of Wilmarth Street onto Pike Avenue. Because the radii on Wilmarth goes to the right so much, the stop sign has to be moved so that somebody coming straight can't really see it. So if there was a stop sign put in front of you to move that stop line up, or the other stop sign up further into the radii, perhaps that would work also. If it's the opinion of the more learned people on stop signs, even though I've done a lot of research on it, that a four-way stop is necessary, I can understand because of the traffic problems in that area and the people ignoring a full stop on Steer Street. However, to keep traffic flowing on Pike Avenue better, if moving the stop signs or adding a stop sign across the street would work, I think that would be better for the community also.
Thank you. Do we have any questions, Councilor Angela?
Thank you, President Clovis. Thanks, Joe, come down, I really appreciate it. I know we've talked back and forth with emails and stuff, and obviously Councilor Waterman has usually brought this out and everything. So obviously it's a very important, we have a lot of issues with there. Now, on the coming down Steer Street, would it also help, okay, so obviously you're suggesting moving the stop sign up, and that pine tree, would it help if that pine tree was removed?
Oh, certainly. There are actually 2 pine trees, and they're only about 3 inches in diameter, about 10 or 12 feet high maybe at the most right now. They've grown up with a package, but that would definitely help. And by moving the stop sign up, also, it isn't moving it up, as far as initially just 4 feet or so, 5 feet would give you. And I also want to point out, those pictures were taken from my truck, and I sit higher in my truck than a lot of cars do, so when the cars are sitting lower, excuse me for, as far as being animated about it, it's even harder to see.
So we'd be putting another stop sign as we're coming down Pike in the opposite direction. So that would make it a 4-way, but at Williamsburg, is that a stop sign that's in that picture right there?
Yes, that's a stop sign at Williamsburg.
Okay.
At Williamsburg, because when you're coming out, and I actually believe any minor street going on to a major street should have a stop sign. I just went by my daughter's house on Winterberry, and she'll get mad at me, but it doesn't have a stop sign onto Slater Street. And as a builder, as a developer, I also think any minor street, whether it be a subdivision or anything going on to a major street, such as Pike Avenue, Steer, Slade, or anything like that, should have a stop sign.
Thank you, sir.
Are there any further questions? Councilor Waterman.
Well, I just wanted to thank you.
Oh.
You brought that to my attention. It wasn't part of the original motion, but very much appreciate you bringing this.
Thank you. It would, just an alternative that I think could work and probably would work as long as it's positioned in a slight reconfiguration of the radii if needed, turning right onto Pike Avenue off Steer Street.
Any further questions? Hearing none. Mr. Caponegro, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Okay, thank you. Just Joe, I don't like Mr.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else to speak neither for nor against? Including, is there anybody? I don't see a hand raised. Hearing.
President Kovas,
Okay,
can I speak?
You may. I was trying to see if there was a hand raised.
Yeah.
Mr. Kirk, go ahead.
Yes, sorry. So I had tried to speak during the last public hearing. I did have my hand raised in time, and then you kind of went on to the next public hearing. In the interest of transparency as well as fairness and equality, I would really like to use this neither for nor against time, which is kind of very strange in between, to talk about the last public hearing, if I may.
Mr. Kerr, we did close that public hearing. I apologize for, I did not see.
For not giving me my equal access.
For this, I cannot
I
see
really am trying
anything.
to throw you a bone here. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to not commit a Title II violation. Please take this, or I promise you, I'm going to
For-
file a suit tomorrow for this violation.
And, Mr. Kerr, I will grant you permission to speak for the previous public hearing, and we will look into trying to figure out why we could not. I don't know, it doesn't show a hand being raised or anything like that, so I apologize for
Yeah.
that, and I will grant
No,
you
no.
this.
I completely understand. You are more forthcoming than the past administration led by Council President Delicio. You would have completely ignored that, so I do appreciate you allowing me to speak here today. So on that public
So,
hearing,
Mr.
while we
Mr.
might
Kerr, if I could,
trust- Yeah.
interrupt, just so that everybody's aware, these comments are regarding the previous public hearing. You're speaking neither for nor against, is that correct? And it
Correct.
is the public hearing on the tax title payment. All
That
right.
is correct, yes,
Please
sir.
proceed.
Thank you very much for the transparency. So, while we might respect what the treasurer is saying, and she might be a fine woman who might be doing an incredible job, she is taking a legal opinion from Solicitor Mello. And I want everyone to understand that taking a legal opinion from Solicitor Mello is the equivalent of me asking my 3-year-old daughter to start explaining to me religion, right? Or anything in depth at all. Solicitor Mello is a moron. And the reason I want to explain that is because Solicitor Mello took, in a past dismissal, in his lawsuit I had against the city, Solicitor Mello took that dismissal, which was dismissed by Judge Gordon, not based upon merits, but based upon procedure. And he took that and advised the city to tell me that I was not a qualified individual while I'm receiving Social Security disability payments and I'm 30 years old and on Medicare. That is really, really bad legal advice. Furthermore, Solicitor Mello advised the city to cite multiple.
Mr. Kerr, if I could interrupt for a second. Mr. Kerr, if you could stay on topic for that specific public hearing?
This is neither for nor against, right? And so if you
For-
could explain
for the
to me
topic.
how I speak neither, but how do I speak neither for the topic nor against the topic? How does one do that? Because what I would believe is that neither for nor against would mean that I can't really speak about because I can't speak for it.
You could
or
provide
I can't
additional
speak against
information.
it.
You could provide clarifying information and facts.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to provide clarifying information about Solicitor Mello's past discrepancies and how the treasurer is basing her entire opinion to take 25% on that. I believe Solicitor Mello is leaving a plethora of money on the table. If we look at the other speaker who came in and said that he does not believe that there's a basis for that 25%, I would agree with him. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show you that if the treasurer is basing her opinion off of Solicitor Mello's piss poor legal advice, right, that might be putting the city in jeopardy, might be leaving money on the table, and might be causing a problem. So that's what I'm trying to demonstrate. And so by me talking about how Solicitor Mello held up a memo in executive session that said that Zoom ended on a particular day, and then told the federal judge that he didn't do that, that could tantamount to perjury, right? And so a good attorney wouldn't really perjure themselves or lie to the court. And so if he's telling you that 25% is the maximum, I would maybe get a different legal advice. I would definitely get a different legal opinion. You call anyone else in that room, even that gentleman that said 25% was not statutorily bound, you could talk to him. I'm pretty sure he would provide better legal advice. So that's what I really want to talk about. While the treasurer might be doing a very good job, and I don't doubt it, if she's basing her entire opinion for that 25% off Solicitor Mello, I think you should get someone else, anyone else that's an attorney, to just double check that. Because I believe Solicitor Mello's probably wrong, and I would agree that the other speaker is probably right. Thank you so much, Mr. Coates.
Thank you, Mr. Kerr. And Mr. Kerr, while you're here, do you have a comment regarding the current public hearing, the traffic control on eastbound on Steer Street and Pike Avenue?
No, I do not, and I feel bad that the last gentleman was speaking, and I now the whole room is going to be left with what I just said and not what he said. I'm sorry, sir. I do apologize.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to speak neither for nor against? Unfortunately, Mr. Capner, you can only speak once per public hearing. Thank you. Is there anyone else to speak neither for nor against? Hearing none. Counselor Waterman, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I declare this public hearing closed. Madam Clerk, if you can read the fifth and final public hearing notice.
Mr. President, I certainly will. Regarding a change to ordinance section 10-4, traffic control, to reflect the following, section 10-4.11, isolated stop signs. Insert northbound drivers on Birch at Cherry.
Thank you. Is there anyone to speak in favor? Is there anyone to speak in opposition? Is there anyone to speak neither for nor against? Hearing none. Councilor Waterman, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I declare this public hearing closed. All right. And that was the last public hearing, so I now entertain a motion to enter committee of the whole.
Second.
Motion's in order. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. This portion of the meeting is for public comment on matters within the council's jurisdictions. Speakers may address topics not on tonight's agenda. Each speaker will have 4 minutes. Is there anyone who wishes to address the council on any matter of city business? Mr. Caponegro.
Yes, my name is Joseph Caponegro, Joe Caponegro, 903 Pike Avenue. This has been dwelling for quite some time now, and I just haven't made the time to come up and speak to the council. And at first, I thought it was part of this charter thing that I saw in the paper, but I was informed tonight it's really part of the ordinances, which are not part of the charter. 6 years ago, I was removed from Traffic Study Council at the behest of the then mayor, and it was according to Article 3.4 of the city ordinances, where it reads, "The mayor may in writing suspend any officer who receives his appointment from the mayor, and in such case he shall at once report his actions and his reasons therefore to the municipal council. The suspension of any officer shall in 15 days after such report is made be a removal unless within the time the officer whose removal is sought asks for a hearing before the mayor and the municipal council. Such hearing shall forthwith be granted and shall be public. After the conclusion of the hearing, the mayor, and I stress the mayor, shall determine whether the suspension is justified and the officer shall be at once reinstated or removed." I think this part of the ordinance should be changed. That yes, a mayor has a right to ask for resignation, as happened in my case, and to suspend a person. But when also part of the ordinance, that person has a right to a hearing, that hearing before the city council, it's the city council who should be the authority to say whether that person is removed or reinstated. It is the city council that votes a mayor's appointments to accept that appointment or not to accept their appointment. This is a classic case, and I hate to use these words, but one person being the judge, jury, and executioner. And as I've said before in speaking to the city council, that at times it is the city council's responsibility to protect the citizens from the city itself. And I've not going over the past, but I don't think it's right that the mayor should be the deciding factor. If we have a hearing and the council says no, the person should stay on, that should be the deciding factor. The mayor doesn't have to reappoint when the time is up, but during that time of the appointment, that's what it should be. So I advocate that the city ordinance section 3.4, removal of officers, in the last sentence, after the conclusion of the hearing where it says the mayor shall determine, it should be a vote of the city council shall determine, or some other wording like that, whether that person should be reinstated or removed.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Mr. Caponegro, I do remember that situation pretty clearly, and I agree that certainly deserves some review. Councilor Tavares, if you wouldn't mind, would you mind reaching out to Mr. Caponegro and sort of talking through this and figuring out if there's new business we can submit?
Absolutely.
Is that okay?
And Jonathan is just Joe. I understand formalities.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, and I apologize for taking so long to come forward on this, but I've been meaning to for many, many years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else to speak at Committee of the Whole?
I would like to speak, I just can't raise my hand because I'm already here.
Well, go ahead, Mr. Kerr. Thank you.
Yes, so just really quick, I want to give just a tiny bit of a civics lesson. So if you look at how the law works, we have federal law, we have state law, and then we have local law. So the situation that the last speaker was talking about, let's look at it this way, right? President of the United States, he picks people that he wants to be on the Federal Trade Commission, correct? Then Congress, specifically the Senate, then confirms those individuals. But right now, going through SCOTUS, very quickly going to be approved, that the president then has the authority to solely fire those individuals, not needing to go back to Congress. This would be the exact same thing that this would work in the local government. You have the mayor, who is the executive officer of the city. You have the council, which is essentially the Congress of the city, right? Passing the laws. They have the power of the purse, right? And then you have the courts, or the prosecutor, which is essentially the judicial arm. It's the exact same way. This is how it's worked for 250 years. This is crazy that anyone's contesting this right now. But I do want to thank you, Mr. Kobus, for being so transparent and open and just willing to just try to fix the accessibility issues. The past administration under the fraudulent Republican Jay Galicio was terrible. He was a ruthless tyrant who hated the disabled. He specifically hated me. I think that there should be some sort of an investigation into Council President Galicio's discretions, particularly around with Councilor Sawyer. I submitted a public records request for Councilor Sawyer's records, and part of that public records request pulled back an email or a text message chain between Councilor Sawyer and Council President Galicio at the time. And so Councilor Sawyer said, I have an Andrew Kerr situation. And Jay responds, I will not talk about this in writing. Let's have a phone conversation. Now, 1 week after that phone conversation, all of a sudden my reasonable modifications have been pulled. The city is now being sued, just for transparency, for $1.5 million, has a tremendous amount of liability, completely solely because of Council President Delicia, right? Council President Delicia likes to go behind closed doors. Well, ex-Council President, sorry, you got voted out real bad. Ex-Council President Delicia likes to go behind closed doors. He likes to meet with the moron Solicitor Mello, and he likes to come up with things on how they can just go after the disabled. And that's what ex-Council President, again, Jay Delicia likes to do. But I've had some conversations with Council President Kovas, and he has been fantastic. He wants to just be forthcoming. He wants to try to fix some of these things. I will say that there was an executive session that was had where my doctor's letter was held up, and ex-Councilor Foa had said, and she questioned the veracity of the semicolon placement and if the doctor's letter was accurate or if it was fraudulent or whatever. When someone starts talking about what happened in executive session, your privilege, your shield's gone. So that's off the bounds. But if that happens, that opens the door again to the city for tremendous liability. How are you going to explain to Judge Nathaniel Gordon that you are discrediting a doctor who is the chair of pain management for the Mass General Brigham Network, who's a Harvard professor? How are you going to say that you or Councilor Foa knows better than him? It's really, really tough. And so this is the type of stuff that I think you guys should be investigating. It would save you a lot of money.
And
Everyone in the city
Mr. Carr, that is your 4 minutes.
$1,000 to use their insurance policy. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council and committee of the whole? Hearing none, I move to arise from committee of the whole.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We have arisen. We'll now go on to the reading of the mayor's communication. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. January 20th, 2026. Dear Municipal Council, I respectfully submit a communication from Elections Office Manager Sharon Fortune regarding the needs for funds to purchase 14 voting tabulators. The existing voting tabulators were purchased in 2016 and require replacement. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $72,800 from Citywide Reserve Fund for Capital account to the Elections Commission's voting equipment account.
Thank you. Ordinances?
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Water Dennis Morton regarding the need for funds for Phase 1 of the Pike Avenue Water Main Replacement Project, which includes design, permitting, and bidding services. This is a multi-phase project that aligns with the city's capital improvement plan, CIP, and is necessary to keep pace with ongoing water main replacement efforts. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body appropriate $308,000 from Water Enterprise Fund Return to Earning account to Fund 3346 Pike Avenue Water Main.
Thank you. Public Works?
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Public Works Michael Tyler regarding the need for funds to purchase one solar-powered crosswalk system to be installed at the intersection of Locust Street at Hickory Road. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $8,200 from Citywide Reserve Fund for Transfer account to Public Works crosswalk system.
Traffic and Transportation?
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Water Dennis Morton regarding the need for funds to replace one high lift pump at the West Street Treatment Facility. The requested amount includes a 3% contingency. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body appropriate $147,273.41 from the Water Enterprise Fund Returned Earnings account to the Water Enterprise Fund Pumps Motors account.
Public Works?
I respectfully submit a communication from Fire Chief Scott T. LaChance regarding the need for funds to replenish funds used to process the annual vacation buyback in accordance with the current collective bargaining agreement between the City of Attleboro and the professional firefighters of Attleboro Local 848. Because these payments were not funded as part of the fiscal year 2026 budget, an internal transfer was made from the salary and wages to provide necessary funds to make these payments. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $14,594.30 from the Citywide Reserve Fund for Transfer account to the Fire Salaries and Wages account.
Finance?
I respectfully submit a communication from Fire Chief Scott T. LaChance regarding the need for funds to make college credit payments in accordance with the current collective bargaining agreement between the City of Attleboro and the professional firefighters of Attleboro Local 848. A mid-year analysis of the fire department budget indicates that they do not have the capacity to use internal transfers to provide the necessary funding for the college education incentive payments for the rest of the fiscal year. The requested amount includes a 10% contingency. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $30,815.87 from the citywide reserve fund for transfer account to the fire college credits account.
Finance.
I respectfully submit a communication from Fire Chief Scott T. LaChance regarding the need for funds to make firefighter certification differential payments in accordance with the current collective bargaining agreement between the City of Attleboro and the professional firefighters of Attleboro Local 848. A mid-year analysis of the fire department budget indicates that they do not have the capacity to use internal transfers to provide the necessary funding for the certification differential incentive payments for the rest of the fiscal year. The requested amount includes a 10% contingency.
Finance. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $17,104.30 from the citywide reserve fund for transfer account to the fire certification differential account.
Finance.
I respectfully submit a communication from Attleboro Public Schools Director of Operations, Mark Furtado, regarding a funding request for two important capital improvement projects. As you may know, the track at Attleboro High School was last resurfaced in 2016. The track is a central component of several athletic programs at the high school and is much used by students and community members. The track is increasingly showing signs of wear, and refurbishing will help us avoid more costly repairs to the structural components. This project is listed as a Level 1 priority in the fiscal year 2630 capital improvements program, and the requested amount of funds is $345,065. The requested amount includes a 10% contingency. Additionally, completing the replacement of the district-wide walkie-talkie system is listed as an urgent priority in the CIP. This project involves replacing each school's internal walkie-talkie system with a district-wide system that will allow school staff to connect with staff in any other school in the district, and will provide a backup communication system should the school system lose Wi-Fi for some reason. Replacement work has already been completed at 4 schools, but an additional $120,000 is needed to perform the work at the 5 remaining schools. Accordingly, I hereby request your honorable body appropriate $380,000 from undesignated fund balance free cash general government account to fund 3417 AHS track resurfacing, and a separate appropriation of $120,000 from undesignated fund balance free cash general government to fund 3434 school capital to fund the walkie-talkie project.
Finance Committee.
I respectfully submit a communication from Fire Chief Scott T. LaChance regarding an anonymous donation in the amount of $7,500. The generous donor has indicated that the donation shall be used for general fire department purposes. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body accept this generous donation to the City of Attleboro.
City Property and Claims.
Excuse me. I respectfully submit a communication from Veteran Service Director Ben Quell regarding the donation of $60 in Stop and Shop gift cards from Frank McKenzie. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body accept this generous donation to the City of Attleboro.
City Property and Claims.
I respectfully submit a communication from Veteran Service Director Ben Quell regarding the donation of $900 in Stop and Shop gift cards from the Sons of the American Legion Post 312. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body accept this generous donation to the City of Attleboro.
City Property and Claims.
I respectfully submit a letter from Sturdy Health requesting to donate automated push-button activated lighting to 3 existing crosswalks located on Park and Dunham Streets. The total value of the donated equipment is $24,300 and includes all materials required for the lighted crosswalk signage systems. The Department of Public Works would oversee installation to ensure all work is completed in accordance with city standards and applicable codes. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body to accept this generous donation to the City of Attleboro.
Traffic and Transportation.
I respectfully submit a communication from Assistant Human Resource Director Beth Fokin regarding office furniture that Human Resources would like to surplus. There was no interest from any of the departments. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. 1 6-drawer office desk in good condition.
City property.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Park and Forestry Derek Corsi regarding the need for funds to replenish funds used to make repairs and winterize all of the park's irrigation systems. Funds were transferred from the heating account to make the necessary repairs in a timely manner. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $4,200 from park salary and wages account to the park heating account.
Public Works.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Park and Forestry, Derek Corsi, regarding the need for funds to replenish funds used to diagnose and repair several hydraulic and component issues at the department's roadside mower. Funds were transferred from several accounts to make the necessary repairs in a timely manner. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $15,300 from the citywide reserve fund for transfer to the following accounts. $2,900 to the Park Supply Equipment account, $8,000 to the Park Supply Ground account, $1,200 to the Park Supplies Vehicles, $3,200 to the Park Equipment Maintenance account.
Public Works.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Public Works Michael Tyler regarding the need for funds to purchase 2 new solar power flashing dangerous intersection ahead signs. These signs will be placed in close proximity to the intersection of North Main Street and Holden Street. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $3,400 from the citywide reserve fund for transfer account to the Public Works Safety Signs Supply account.
Traffic and Transportation.
I respectfully submit a communication from Fire Chief Scott T. LaChance regarding a request for funds in order to provide funding to maintain the fire department apparatus for the remainder of the fiscal year. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $50,000 from the citywide reserve fund for transfer account to the following: $25,000 to the fire department vehicle maintenance account and $25,000 to the fire department major vehicle repair account.
Public Safety.
I respectfully submit a communication from Health Agent Sherry Millett Badeau regarding the need to pay a fiscal year 25 invoice from interpreters and translators Inc. No authorizing payment is needed to satisfy this debt. There is no transfer of funds needed to pay this bill, as there is sufficient funding in Fund 2611.
Finance Committee.
For your information, Tom Hayes retired as Superintendent of the Wastewater Department effective January 14th, 2026. Please join me in thanking Tom for his many years of service to the city of Attleboro and its residents.
Thank you, Tom, and that's an FYI.
I would like to inform your honorable body that I have made Assistant Superintendent of Wastewater Lori Dumont the Acting Superintendent of Wastewater effective January 15th, should say 2026. She will be acting in this capacity for 90 days. Lori was promoted to Acting Assistant Wastewater Superintendent on July 7th, 2025, and then promoted to the position of Assistant Superintendent on October 13th, 2025. She has been with the Wastewater Department for 8 years and has the necessary licenses and understanding of department operations to perform the essential functions of the position of Acting Superintendent of Wastewater while we undergo a search for a new superintendent.
Personnel.
FYI, to assist Lori Dumont in her role as Acting Superintendent of Wastewater, we would like to contract with CDM Smith, Inc. to provide emergency management support services, direction concerning potential improvements to department operations, maintenance, and administration, and assist in ensuring compliance with all state and federal requirements pertaining to wastewater. The initial contract term is 3 months, not to exceed $57,600. But can be renewed if the search for a new superintendent of wastewater takes longer than anticipated. An internal transfer will be completed to fund this contract.
FYI.
For your information, Solid Waste Manager Cheryl Perry retired in late December. Please join me in thanking Cheryl for her long-term service to the city and its residents. Our new Solid Waste Manager is Jessica Santos, who formerly served as the Solid Waste Coordinator and worked with Cheryl for several years. Please join me in congratulating Jessica for her promotion.
Congratulations, Jessica, and thank you, Cheryl. FYI.
I respectfully request the approval of your honorable body to and insurance proceeds related to the replacement of an HVAC unit at Thatcher Elementary School. The HVAC unit servicing Thatcher Elementary School experienced a failure that requires full replacement, and a claim was submitted to insurance. Pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53, your authorization is required because the proceeds are expected to be in excess of $150,000. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body authorize the expenditure of insurance proceeds by the school department for this loss from Fund 2501, insurance proceeds $150,000. In addition, appropriate $70,000 from the undesignated fund balance free cash general government account to Fund 2501, insurance proceeds $150,000 to cover additional related expenses not covered by insurance proceeds.
Finance Committee?
Sincerely, Kathleen DeSimone, Mayor.
Thank you. And if you would, can we continue with the clerk's communications? Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. President. Clerk's communication, January 20th, 2026. We have received a Class 2 auto renewal application from St. John Automotive, Inc., doing business as Better Auto, 473 Washington Street, with 10 customer parking spaces and 21 display spaces.
Licenses Committee?
We have received a Class 1 auto renewal application from Just Trailers, Inc., 1863 County Street, with 12 customer parking spaces and 7 display spaces.
Licenses Committee?
We have received a zoning petition from 94 County Street LLC to rezone 0 County Street and 92 through 104 County Street.
Zoning and Land Use, and I'd like to call for a public hearing on February 7th, if that works for you, Counselor Sawyer?
17th.
17.
Oh, sorry, February 17th, 2026.
Second.
Does that work for you, Counselor Sawyer? Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We have received a Class 2 auto renewal application from Seccont Gas and Repair, Inc., doing business as 123 Mobile, 300 County Street, with 4 customer parking spaces and 9 display spaces.
And Licenses Committee.
And that concludes the communications for this evening.
Standing. We will now move on to committee reports, and starting with Counselor Angelo.
Thank you, President Cobus. For the docket of January 6, 2026, I move to accept the donation to the Veterans Office of $125 in Stop and Shop gift cards from Rosemary Burrows.
Second.
Motion is in order. Do we have any comments?
Just a big thank you to Rosemary very much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, it's a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
For the docket of January 6, 2026, move to accept the donation of the following gift cards from the Attleboro chapter of the DAR, Daughters of American Revolution, to the Veterans Office. 5 $25 Walmart gift cards, 3 $25 Target gift cards, 4 $10 Target gift cards, 1 $20 Shaw's gift card, 1 $25 Stop and Shop gift card.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
Daughters of the American Revolution continue to just come through, and these are incredibly important to the Veterans Office, so thank you very much to the DAR.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
From the docket of January 6, 2026, I move to approve the exemptions regarding the disclosure of financial interests by special municipal employee forms for the following part-time city and school employees who seek to participate in the senior tax abatement program: Mary Barrett, Diane Carlin, Irma Peters, Lorraine Merle, Donna Vines, and Joseph Vito.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, sir, we discussed this in committee.
Perfect. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, and we'll start with Councilor Delicio.
Mr. Delicio.
Yes.
Mr. Tavares.
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey.
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds.
Yes.
Vice President Dolan.
Yes.
Ms. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre.
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer.
Yes.
Mr. Waterman.
Yes.
Mr. Angelo.
Yes.
President Cobus.
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
That's all for Human Resources and Veterans Committee. Call for meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Waterman?
Yes. From the docket of January 6th, I move to strike the following. I motion to approve the expenditure of $100,000 to be split between account 1000-359000 and designated fund balance free cash general government, and account 121110000538090 parking enforcement parking study for the cost of a feasibility study to expand off-street parking in the downtown area, in particular, the city-owned parking lots on Bank Street, North Main Street Library Lot, and Sanford Street at the YMCA, and the Sanford Street parking garage.
Second.
Motion is in order. Councilor Waterman?
I would say we should strike this because a very similar motion is coming out of the Finance Committee.
Correct. Any other comments? Hearing none, actually, this just requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
That concludes all the business for the Transportation and Traffic Committee this evening. Call for meeting next appropriate time.
Thank you. Council Sawyer?
There's no business for the Zoning, Land Use, and Sustainability Committee, and I look forward to a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor McIntyre?
IT and Infrastructure has no business this evening. I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
First full committee meeting. Well done. Councilor Holmes?
There's no business for Public Safety and Emergency Management. Call for committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Vice President Dolan?
Thank you. Reporting for Public Works Committee from the docket of January 6, 2026. I move to approve the expenditure of such funds and any future grant amendments regarding $30,000 fiscal year 2026 state earmark grant from the purchase of public trees to be planted at Lee's Pond, Balfour Riverwalk, and as part of the streetscape improvement along Route 123 and 152 in the downtown area.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, but, yeah, just, thank you, Rep. Scanlon, for helping us get this money.
Perfect. Any further comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Councilor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
From the docket of January 6, 2026, I move to appropriate $20,000 from account wastewater enterprise fund reserve fund for transfer to account wastewater enterprise fund maintenance of equipment for the installation of the bar screen at the treatment plant.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, we discussed in committee.
Thank you. Any further comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Councilor Delicio.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
From the docket of January 6, 2026, I move to appropriate $49,290.62 from account undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account Public Works professional services for engineering services to perform an evaluation of the citywide crosswalks.
Second.
Motion is in order. Vice President Dolan.
We discussed in committee.
Perfect. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Councilor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
And that's all the business for Public Works Committee, and I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Councilor Reynolds.
Reporting for City Property and Claims Committee from the docket of January 6, 2026. I move to declare the following police department items as surplus and available for disposition to sell or for trade-in value. 2 Harley Davidson's FLH TPI 2003s, and they're in fair condition.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
I have none.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Councilor Delicio.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
On the docket of January 6, 2026, I move to declare the following school department office equipment as surplus and available for disposition. 1 graphic wizard paper cutter.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
I have none.
Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
That is all the business for City Property and Claims Committee, and I would like to call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Counselor Morrissey.
The License Committee has no business tonight. I will call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Counselor Tavares.
Ordinances, elections, and legislative matters has no business this evening. We call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
And Counselor Delicio.
Thank you. From the docket of January 6, 2026, I move to authorize the school department to pay previous year's school bills to GKT in the amount of $789.95 to UMass Medical in the amount of $4,329.53, totaling $5,119.48.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Counselor Delicio.
I have no comments.
Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Delicio.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of January 6, 2026, I move to appropriate $180,000 from account undesignated fund balance free cash general government to the following: $145,300 to account assessors reevaluation services, $34,700 to assessors appraisal services.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order.
Thank you. I have no comments on this.
Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of January 6, 2026, I move to appropriate $50,000 from undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account parking enforcement parking study.
Second.
Motion is in order. Counselor Delicio.
No comments for the feasibility for the parking as we discussed last week in committee.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Delicio.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
Finally, from the docket of January 6, 2026, I move to raise the expenditure limit on revolving fund number 2602 from $250,000 to $300,000.
Second.
Motion is in order.
Thank you. I have no comments.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
Thank you. That's all the business for the Finance Committee this week, and I'd like to call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. We can move on to old business. And for this, I'd like to give up the chair for that. Thank you. So for the old business, what we want to do here is, my goal is to clean up the special, or to dissolve the 4 special committees we have. In order to do that, I think we can assign the individual items to specific committees. And I think those committees have served the purpose that we needed from them, and we can look at creating additional special committees moving forward. But so the process to do this is initially I'll discharge each committee from hearing further business, which then moves everything into old business. And then at that point, I'll move to strike the items. And then I'll declare, as president, I'll declare the committee individually as dissolved. And so it's a 3-step process for each of the 4 special committees. The process has been reviewed by the solicitor and is the preferred mechanism that he suggested that we use to go about this. And I think generally these special committees have served a really good purpose. But it's always awkward, remembering to cancel these each week, and I think we can benefit from consolidating back to the standing committees. So with that said, we'll start with the first one. And so that's just an explanation of the process here. All right, under Rule 7-2.2 of the Municipal Council Rules and Procedures, I am discharging the Special Committee on Classification and Compensation for further consideration of the items on its docket. Since the items previously before the Special Committee on Classification and Compensation are no longer before that committee, I now entertain a motion to strike the following items from the docket. 1, request a special committee with focus on current hiring challenges facing the city.
Second.
Vice President Dolan.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was reading ahead. My apologies. I completely apologize. Thank you. So this will require a roll call vote. Do you have any comments?
Motion's in order.
Sorry. Motion is in order. Do you have
It's a
any
voice vote.
comments?
I do not.
Other than
I think
what you
this
already
committee,
said?
other than what I've already said, and I think this committee served a great purpose. And
All right, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion passes.
all right, I now declare the Special Committee on Classification and Compensation dissolved. Next is under Rule 7-2.2 of the Municipal Council Rules and Procedures. I am discharging the Special Committee on Rules and Procedures from further consideration of the items on its docket. Since the items previously before the Special Committee on Rules and Procedures are no longer before that committee, I now entertain a motion to strike the following items from the docket. New business to amend rules, section 4-4.1, to have a communication shares submit on Thursday. New business to amend rules to define public hearing participation. And the last one is to discuss and draft a proposal for public participation in council meetings.
Second.
Motion's in order. Do you have any further comments?
I do. And so just because we are striking these items does not mean that these items are not important. And I've already talked to Councilor Holmes. We would like to introduce new business to define how to define public participation and remote participation and all of that. And I believe we can just assign that to the ordinances committee, and I think that would work.
Any other comments or questions? This requires a voice vote.
Voice vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I now declare the Special Committee on Rules and Procedures dissolved. Next, under Rule 7-2.2 of the Municipal Council Rules and Procedures, I am discharging the Special Committee to investigate water loss of 2024 from further consideration of the items on its docket. Since the items previously before the Special Committee to investigate the water loss of 2024 are no longer before that committee, I now entertain a motion to strike the following items from the docket. 1, charge and responsibilities will be to investigate events leading up to and after the water loss.
Second.
Motion's in order. Do you have any further comments?
I do, and I was hesitant to close this one but I was responsible for doing this investigation. I got a copy of all of the emails between the former water superintendent, searched through all of that. There wasn't any reference to the water loss in there, and where individual workers are union workers, I wasn't able to talk to them about this particular item, and the new water superintendent wasn't there. So there wasn't anything for me to really investigate here. It was, or there wasn't a path forward for this investigation, unfortunately. I do think it's a serious matter. I do think it was good for us to try, and it is something that I think the public deserves an answer for, and unfortunately, I don't think we on the council can arrive at that answer. So with that said, I think it makes sense to dissolve this.
Do any other councilors have any questions? Councilor Delicio?
Thank you. Ms. Cobus, I appreciate your words, but I think the emails were only from a specific time and from one party. I think there was more work that could have been done on this. I'm still hearing from people that think there are answers they haven't received. So I'm going to be voting against this.
Does anybody else have any comments or questions? And this, I'm sorry, Council Morrissey?
Well, I'm just wondering, and it was something you had referenced, did the IT department like go in and look for deleted emails? Because a lot of that stuff sits in the cache of the computers that were used. So I'm just wondering, like, was there an effort to retrieve possibly deleted emails or communications?
If I may, Vice President. So I'm not aware of deleted emails, but what I was provided was a dump of all emails. And so it wasn't, search for X or Y or specific keywords. It was a dump of all the emails. So I hear what you're saying in that it's entirely possible. In my strictly my opinion, I would assume that emails were deleted, but I don't think we have access to that. And especially with the cyber attack, that's no longer available.
Does anybody else have any more questions or comments? Council Delicio?
Just more of a point of order. It wasn't a point of information, rather. It wasn't all emails. That's misleading. It was emails from the former superintendent and the former assistant superintendent. That's what the parameters were. So to say it was all, I think, is a little disingenuous. And I don't know how much of an investigation was actually done.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any other questions or comments on this? Okay, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Actually, we'll do a roll call vote, if that's okay. And starting with Councilor Delicio.
Mr. Delicio?
No.
Mr. Tavares?
No.
Ms. Morrissey?
No.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
No.
President Cobus?
Yes.
I almost messed it up. 7 yeas, 4 nays.
Motion passes.
I now declare the special committee to investigate the water loss of 2024 dissolved. And finally, under Rule 7-2.2 of the Municipal Council Rules of Procedures, I am discharging the special committee for tax abatement review from further consideration of items on its docket. There weren't any items on, since there were no items previously before the special committee for tax abatement review, and as such, there is nothing to strike from the docket, I now declare the special committee for tax abatement review dissolved.
Second.
No vote.
Okay.
And next we'll move to the new business. Is there any new business to come before the council? And for the first item, I will recognize Councilor Holmes.
Thank you. I move to refer for study and recommendation of the following new business to introduce the contemporary outdoor lighting bylaw.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
Yes, wherever it gets referred to, I do have some information, but a couple residents reached out that have neighbors that have very bright lights that are in their house. And across the Commonwealth, a lot of communities are creating rules around this, such as you can't have a light above 6 feet, or to make it so that everybody can enjoy when it's dark and not have a bright light in their house. So I do think it's something we could look at, but I do need to do a little bit more work because I don't know who would enforce this, but I do have a bunch of information, so it's not just one sentence to whatever committee it ends up in.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, a voice vote is required for this. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes, and I will assign this to the ordinances committee. Right. For the next item, I will recognize Vice President Dolan.
Thank you. I move to refer for study and recommendation the following new business. Motion to dissolve the IT and Infrastructure Standing Committee and create an Economic Development and Strategic Planning Standing Committee.
Second.
Motion is in order. If you don't mind, I'll talk to this one. And this one is to reorganize and dissolve the IT and Infrastructure Committee and stand up a new committee, ideally with Councilor McIntyre driving it for economic development and strategic planning and for reviewing sort of longer-term policy items. As you'll recall, last term, there wasn't a lot of business that went before the IT and Infrastructure Committee. I recognize that we just had a cyber attack, and so in theory, there will be a fair amount of new business coming before the council with regards to that, but I think all of those items can be referred to either the Finance Committee for funding or Public Works for infrastructure type things. So in addition to dissolving the IT and Infrastructure Committee, you'll see there's items here to add to both the Finance Committee and to Public Works for things with regarding IT and infrastructure that those committees should hear. Any other comments? Hearing none, a voice vote is required. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes, and I will assign that actually to the IT and Infrastructure Committee. All right. And finally, I want to remind everybody that next Monday, January 26th at 6:30 in the Bray Auditorium is our joint meeting with the school committee to talk about the upcoming budget and concerns. It's the annual meeting that we normally do. So again, that's Monday at 6:30 in the Bray Auditorium. Any questions on that? Are there any other announcements or items to announce? Anything else? Councilor Angelo.
Just getting back to the joint meeting on Monday, is there still a meeting on Tuesday here?
We are still meeting on Tuesday, yes. All right.
Are you waiting for us to wish you a happy birthday or something?
No. No. I now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:16.